morning. My name is Maggie Langrick, and it is my sincere delight to welcome you to the 2016 Face of Leadership Conference. I think that we're all here for the same reason, because we agree that 75 years is too long to wait for gender parity to come to BC, and because we're prepared to roll up our sleeves and do something about it. Yes, of course, we all want to live in a fair and just society in which our daughters and our daughters' daughters have the opportunity to fully express their potential and to make their greatest possible contribution in a role of influence. And yes, of course, it makes sense that a group that comprises half of the world's population ought to be present in equal numbers when the most important decisions are being made. So this really ought to be a concern and a priority for anybody who cares to see our economy and our society continue to grow and thrive. But we here today in this room are a special group. We're different because we have all made an individual and collective commitment to really doing whatever it is that we can do to change the face of leadership. And I think that there is no better place for us to gather than under the banner of the Minerva Foundation, whose sole reason to exist is to increase the visibility and influence of girls and women. You know, what I think I appreciate most about Minerva's approach is they know that for real lasting change to occur, the problem needs to be addressed from the top down as well as from the grassroots up. So I'm going to tell you a little grassroots story. This is a personal story about how Minerva really changed my life. I'm a proud graduate of the Minerva Women Leading the Way program, and for any of you who aren't familiar with this program, there's an information table out front that can tell you a lot more about this remarkable program. Essentially what it is, the Women Leading the Way program works with mid-career professional women who are on the rise in their careers to prepare them for a leadership role. When I joined the program in 2012, I already knew that I was a pretty good manager, but I wouldn't have called myself, I didn't really feel that I was leadership material. You know, I was, okay, you know, I've always been ambitious and probably prone to wanting to take control in certain situations. But I think that if you had asked me then, if I saw myself out in front at the helm of an organization or running my own company, I would have said, it sounds great and I'm all for it, but personally I feel more comfortable making my contribution as a team member. I think that I found it really difficult to picture myself out in front. I thought that that was just me. I thought that was just like my life path. But what I now realize is that that was my unconscious bias in operation. I was operating under a whole slew of erroneous assumptions about myself, about my own potential, and about really the nature of leadership itself. I had a lot of ideas in my mind about what kind of person pursues a leadership role and what it required of them, you know, to be there, and perhaps maybe what even it would do to them. And it was an image that I respected, but that I really didn't identify with personally. That changed. So over the course of the 6 months that I was in the program, I came to really know my values. I came to really know my strengths and preferences. I learned how to assemble a diverse team that would really make the most of each one of its members. And most importantly, I became acquainted with values-based leadership. And this really electrified me. This was a new definition of leadership that was as much about openness and authenticity as it was about tough-mindedness, guts, and vision. So by the end of the program, not only did I know that I had the capability to lead an organization, should I choose, but I also had the desire. So very soon after graduating from the program, I started my own company. LifeTree Media is a hybrid publishing company specializing in books that help heal and inspire. We work with experts who want to become authors. And I'm proud to say that we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary yesterday, in fact. We have, thank you very much. This year, one of our books has been chosen for a major international book award. Another one made the Toronto Star bestseller. We're really making a difference. And by the way, we've been profitable every single quarter since we started. We're creating work opportunities. We're really making a difference. And I tell you this story, the point of this story is to show you how Minerva truly changed the face of leadership in my life. This company would not exist. This business would not exist without that program. That's no exaggeration. So I wonder if you can really imagine how much it means to be here today doing this and hosting this event with you today. Today is all about changing the face of leadership at the other end of the spectrum at the organizational level rather than the individual level. And we've got an amazing day planned. We're going to be looking at the results of the 2016 Face of Leadership BC scorecard, which shows us how our BC businesses are stacking up against the benchmarks and against our own performance last year. So we'll be hearing those results very shortly. And then the first half of the day is devoted very much to unconscious bias, which I talked about earlier. You know, this is something that we all have. Organizations have it, individuals have it. So we see this in Minerva as a key strategy for closing the gender gap. And we've got a very dynamic, interactive keynote presentation coming from Dr. Carly Beth Hawkins, who I had the pleasure of meeting yesterday. After lunch, we're going to be looking at how to create more inclusive cultures in workplaces. And hearing from some trailblazers who are really making great strides in getting more women into leadership positions. So it's a very ambitious day. It's going to be a packed schedule. I really ask you to move swiftly from one room to the next. There's going to be some upstairs, downstairs, and coming in and out of rooms. We haven't built a lot of breathing space for networking into the day, and the reason is really that we wanted to bring you the very most information possible. We just have this one day together, and we want to make the most of it. So throughout the day, do feel free to use the hashtag #PromoteHer. That's the way that we're going to be sharing our thoughts and impressions of the day. And I really encourage you, as you listen to the material, to listen out for that one kind of key takeaway, that insight or that strategy that you can take back to your own organizations or your own personal lives and begin implementing tomorrow to really make a change. So without any more talk from me, let's dive right in with a few words from the Minerva CEO, Adine Mies.